What is up, all you comic book lovers? Shane Mess here from King Toad Comics, and I just want to make a video to let everybody know that tomorrow is our big launch for the campaign. Finally, we've reached that point to stop the mailing list and start the campaign, and I'm pumped. Everybody's been working hard. Elia's knocked out all the pages except for the drawn-in tier. So everything's penciled. Half the book is already inked, colored, lettered, and so I mean this thing's most likely I'll have a copy in my hand before I even finish the campaign run. Hopefully, that'd be awesome. But that's totally up to. I don't want to rush the colorist and everybody. But I didn't really plan on having it this far along. I just happen to have a great team. But yeah, for those who are new to the Mothman or don't know anything about the Mothman, it was a phenomenon that happened in the 60s at Point Pleasant, West Virginia. This Mothman-like creature was haunting and terrorizing. I don't know if I want to use the word haunting. Haunting is more ghost. But he was showing up quite a bit, and the big thing was the collapse of the bridge, the Silver Bridge, and he was kind of this phenomenon that came during the collapse of the bridge. So everybody thought maybe he came to warn people that this event was going to happen, because a lot of people died. But it's really cool because, like, when you really look into the story, you had like the Men in Black showed up trying to cover up some things or investigate, which is really weird for like the Men in Black to show up if the Mothman didn't exist. You think it'd just be the federal agents and local police and stuff like that would come in to investigate the scene. But Men in Black actually showed up around the towns. I can't remember there's a lady, I think she might have passed away recently. It was really cool because if you would have went to the festival, because they have a festival every year, if you go to the festival, you can meet her and she'd tell you about how the Men in Black approached her, and when she told her story of Mothman, they pretty much was like, we need you to change your story. So you have like events like that, these Men in Black guys showing up, and almost the whole, I mean, back in the day, didn't have the little, erase your memory thing. But they showed up to tell you to go hush hush about the Mothman. So the legend built since the 60s. But not much has happened with the legend since the 60s. There has been a new sighting in like Chicago. So maybe the Mothman has moved to Chicago. But I want to break to Point Pleasant. We had a movie that came out. Richard Gere. It was an okay movie. You don't get much Mothman in it. It's more of a spiritual kind of thing. But I wanted to take the Mothman and turn it into a classic horror monster. My roots go to Creature of the Black Lagoon, Dracula. I even being an 80s kid, I grew up with Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees and stuff like that. So I always liked that monster feel. And we'd never really seen that with the Mothman. So I wanted to bring that to the Mothman, make him a little bit more ferocious of a threat. Not just a whisper in the wind, or did I see him, did I not see him? No, I want this guy to land, be a presence, and wreak some havoc in these old woods. So that's what my Mothman story is going to be. Again, I usually go to the festival every year. There's a festival in West Virginia, and you see a lot of Mothman stuff. So, and it's really cool, man. Like when you really start digging into the lore, and the TNT bunkers were there because it used to be a military facility there. So you have all those, possibilities of what the Mothman could be. Like I said, we've seen the spiritual kind of realm of this dark angel who's come to warn of events to happen. But you also can look at it as, was it a government experiment that got loose? You know, uh, was it a mutated owl from the TNT bunker leakage? Who knows? You know, so many cool possibilities. That's what I love about urban legends, though. You know, the older they get, the more mysterious and elaborate they can become too. I mean, you go down there, you can have some you run into so many different people who have different theories, and you know, you'll find that old guy at the shop who's like, "You need a little closer, boy. Let me tell you a story about the Mothman." You know, you run into that stuff down there. It's cool. It's a very cool experience. But it's something I always do with my family every year. We go down there, except for this past year because of COVID, and then just enjoy a Mothman pizza because that's the thing. Everything's themed down there during that festival. Mothman pizzas, Mothman pies. Anything you can eat probably has Mothman written in it somehow down there. But anyways, that's not quite the topic in the sense of the festival, but yeah. So you have this urban legend, the Mothman, and us here at King Toad Comics are taking that as a first project between us, and we got some awesome people working on it. I say Elia, I got him as the now I know he's not as known in the community. He's a new guy, but I'm hoping once this book launches and gets people's hands, you know, they're like, hey, who's this guy? Because I mean, I'm sure he'll be up for some work. The kid's good. He's fast. I mean, the kid will pump out pages. It's amazing. Got Jeff, the colorist. I'm sure once I get done with him, I'll leak some info if people want. Jeff, but I want to use him first. But for the people that are known, this way, this right here is the Preston cover, Preston Azevedo. One of the first people I came to see if I could hire. Like I say, being the new guy, you know, I wasn't too sure who I could grab up and get aboard this project. But he was all for it. He's like, yeah, man. I mean, he is a horror fan, so I was pretty happy that he was all aboard. He actually just sold the original piece on one of Ethan Van Sciver's auctions. So the original piece is gone. The only way to get it now is backing us here at the King Toad Comics. A couple pieces I'll show off. Let's see, this one here is the doodlebags cover. This will be cover B. Most likely it will be only available for the campaign. We haven't really talked after the campaign if we'll allow that cover to be a reprint or not. So doodlebags cover. Another one that I didn't expect to get. I thought it's funny because every time I think I'm done hiring people, like I got enough Mothman stuff. Something happens where somebody might reach out, hey, I need anybody wants some art done, and that was kind of the doodlebags thing. He's kind of like, hey man, anybody needing some work done, let me know. And I was like, sure, why not? I could always use more. You know, I needed a second cover anyways. And originally I was going to have it as a print, but once I showed around to my fellow boys at the Hardline, they're my kind of go-to guys to helps me out with a lot of stuff. Plus Joe, they're like, man, I wouldn't do this as a print. Let's do it as a cover. I was like, all right, cover B it is. So even Malin's like, what's this piece? I'm like, it's doodlebags, man. I think he digged it more because there's a chick in it, but it's all right. But yeah, so got cover A and B. I'll have them separate, or you can get them together in a tier. What else? Let's see. Boop. This will be coming. Where's that? There it is. The Carla print will be coming with every tier. It's so hard to do on camera. I keep wanting to point the opposite way. But yeah, so the Carla print, this will be coming with every tier. I actually got those printed out just to see And so, I mean, I already got some physicals of those. Pretty cool. I couldn't help myself. When I get art done by people, like I'll get some like prototypes made up. I have them hanging on my wall, like framed already. Nerd I am. It's that time of the year though, man, to hang up. I mean, I can't say it. I actually got Halloween. It's Halloween at my house 24/7, so it's gonna be awkward when I'm like talking on streams and stuff, and I'm still like in the horror mood while everybody else is like moved on to Christmas and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, still into the hack and slash thriller season 24/7. But anyways, yeah. So this is the Carla Tinnelli. I say her name like I feel like I say it wrong, but she just had a new book launch, or I think the campaign launches this week as well. Oh man, I wish I could. I can't think of it. It's something Witch Hunter. I want to say it's Witch Hunter. I mean, you might know her from Grim Reaper and Grim Reaper 2. But they just launched, I believe it's called Witch Hunter. But yeah, anyways, that will be coming with. It's really cool because she's like the only one that really did a different color scheme. I gave all the artists open range to do whatever they want. They could make the Mothman look how they want, color how they want. And I thought it was really cool that maybe it's because it was a female's perspective. I did find out she wanted to do more of a more of a female moth, but she's afraid that maybe I would have not liked it. I'm not picky. So I go to the Mothman Festival every year. I've seen any and all kinds of Mothmen. So a female moth, just fine too. But I like the fact that she went with like this white moth, because in her mind, you know, she sees moths, so like these little cutesy, fluffy white things that just fly around. And so we got the Mothman. I believe that's the Silver Bridge that Mothman's diving into there. But let's see what else. We also have. All right, we also have the Joe Ball Halloween print. Again, this might only be available for this campaign because, you know, I do want some stuff to be exclusive. As much as I would love to just share this like all the time with people. This may be the only time you'll be able to get this print is on the campaign. But yeah, Joe Ball did the Mothman Halloween piece. So here's the print that will be coming. Did that right that time? That will be coming with the books. There won't be any particular tier. I say that in the Carla print. I have planned to be in every single backing, so you will get both. He had a different piece he was working on, but he wasn't really digging it. He said, "Hey, it's alright if I start from scratch and do it again." And I said, "Yeah, man. I want you to be as excited about the piece as I will be. So if you're not excited, then I probably won't be excited." So yeah, he went back and created this. It's really cool because if you look at it, I don't know how well you can see on the screen, all the monsters lined up on that little hill there. So he put some work in it. Jeff banged out the collars, and we got that. And I have more on the way. I probably will be revealing Matt Burke's trading card, probably either on Hardline tomorrow or on maybe even the Morning Roast, just to get that out there. Matt Burke, creator of Butch Cleaver, did an awesome art piece for me for a trading card, and that's going to be one of the stretch goals. So I'm hoping we get there because I really want that piece to hit backers' hands. Sim from the creator of Natverse, he's doing a trading card as well for a stretch goal. So we got plenty of Mothman. Plenty of Mothman is going to be delivered in this. And I say, like, it's really, you know, when people say, "Hey, what's this about?" I think it's really hard to explain, not what it's about. It's not like it's an elaborate story. You know, it's not like I'm creating Lord of the Rings here for you people. but I look at his campaigns and everybody's like superheroes, and so there's a lot more to explain and stuff like that of maybe how people got their powers, or the universe it takes in, or how they built their universe. And I, as a horror fan, I find myself, it's kind of like when you go to the movies and you see a trailer and they give away too much, and you're like, well, no, the whole movie. I'm trying not to do that with the Mothman. You know, I don't want to give a lot away, but it is a horror monster collecting kind of book. You know, like I made this a lot for the horror fans, so I don't know how well the typical comic book guy is going to enjoy it. You know, I don't have like the Mothman superposed punching like, you know, bad guys in the face and stuff like that. You know, it's a monster. You know, I want to give a monster vibe. You know, he's a hunter. You know, he's hunting some people in this comic. You know, you're investing in the coolness of the creature. You know, like when you watch a Jason movie or a Freddy movie, you're there to see what happens to the victims. How you root for the bad guys, right? You know, you're rooting for the bad guys. In the comic world, you're usually rooting for the good guys. So, making a monster comic, you're rooting for the bad guy. You know, so that's the story you're getting. You're like, well, what's he gonna do to this person? Kind of vibe. And we want to see how this does as we launch into more of the Cryptic Legend universe. So if this does well, it gives us room to grow, because I do want to expand it into the next Cryptic Legend book, and you'll see how this one leaves off. You're like, oh, do we get more cryptic creatures? Is this where this is going? I want to tie in the universe, so I want to make that happen. But it's going to take backers. It's going to take people to. I got to test out the waters to see if horror monster books. Who am I kidding? I'll probably make them anyways. Shay will just go broke, like using his own funds. I'll just like, whatever. I'll make my own little. Be happy in my own little monster universe. Anyways, that's where I am with the book. We're launching tomorrow. Can't wait. I'm excited. Hang out with the Hardline guys. I'm the newbie there too. It's so cool. Hanging with Simon, the Diaz brothers, Michael Beacon, Joe. I'm gonna forget somebody. I know it. Ace. Who else? So many of us anymore. Passion. Doom Fate. Yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with his project. So, but yeah, man. So it's gonna be really fun doing that launch, and I'll probably be talking it up tomorrow on Chris Evans' Morning Roast show with Simon as well. I'm in kind of I snuck my way in as like a regular. I bug Chris. I'm like, where's that link, Chris? Where's that link? Nah, man. It's actually my favorite show to be on, man. I love the Morning Roast. It's cool too, because Chris isn't a creator; he's a backer, so it's really cool. I like the networking with the creators, but it's even cooler when you get that, when you hear from backers themselves, what it is they want, what it is they think's cool, and what their feedback is, So that's going to be interesting and fun. I know a lot of times it seems like people might get irritated hearing opinions on books and stuff, But I don't think I'm that way. I mean, I've actually real quick, as I'm rambling on, my big influences growing up as an 80s kid. So you get into like, I'd say like your second, third grade. I don't know how old I was. How old are you in like second grade? You're a little wee guy. I was introduced to Goosebumps, right? Everybody collected Goosebumps when I was growing up. We didn't have the internet. So if you wanted really cool stuff, you read these chapters books. And obviously, the art, what really captivated you as a kid, drew you in. Now I don't know if it was as popular for girls as it was boys, but I do see a lot of girls now like that will post stuff like about Goosebumps. So apparently it worked. I know they tried. I think girls' versions were supposed to be like Babysitter Club books. They were like the chapter books, but I still think girls picked these up just as much. But yeah, like man, this was a big influence on who I am. Getting started. So I wanted to always do these chapter type books, right? Another big influence. Every kid had these growing up, right? I mean, these things were. I'm surprised that they still. I'm glad they do, but I'm surprised they still have these available for kids. Just the way the world is today, because they were so creepy, right? Like, I don't know if a book like that came out today and launched in the library, if it'd be allowed or not. But I'll try to find another like really creepy image. I mean, you got old lady, their husband's like, shoop, boop, man, I'm not good at this, huh? With her husband's head on a plate. They made a movie of this recently too. It wasn't bad, but yeah. So that was another big influence growing up. I'm like I idolized R.L. Stine and Alvin Schwartz. As I got older. Stephen King. Now, I didn't read much Stephen King, but I loved the It movie. I know a lot of people, where it wasn't, I don't know, I feel like nowadays people kind of bash the original It movie. But, when you're a kid and you see that movie, it's just, I always like stories too that have like the kids' point of views a lot of times. Because to me, I think that's when your brain, as a reader, you monsters were real, so it almost takes you back to that childhood time when these stories are involving children, because it takes you back to like I grew up in a haunted house. We'll leave that for a totally different stream, but I grew up in a haunted house, right? So I just love stories like that the kids. Point of view. So I did read. I read Stephen King later on in life. Actually, I'm reading a book right now by him. I'm almost done with it. Desperation. And man, that's a messed up book. And so it led to me getting into writing chapter books. The first thing I did was this little guy. It's got notes in it still from other stuff. But I ventured off into the publishing world, self-publishing, with stories and poems of a twisted kind, where I wrote short stories and poems. Well, they're like creepy. And I tested out that market. Now, this was like early 2000. Things have gotten so... It's crazy how accessible everything is now. It wasn't then. Not like now. We didn't have YouTube and streams and stuff like that like they are today. Very limited marketing. You had to go to conventions to get your name out there. Yeah. Boo. Get rid of this Joe Ball piece real quick. There we go. To get the market, yeah, you had to go to the conventions and stuff. I mean, I still think it's important now. Once this COVID thing clears up, hopefully it does, people can start being able to go back into the convention scenes. But that was the only way. And you think comics are hard when it comes to like getting to conventions, and books are really weird. I'm not saying like I can't get to a comic convention with a book. I'm not saying the selling point is harder, not that. But if you try to get to a book convention, like just a book convention, they're so weird. Like here in Ohio, like you had all these criteria. You couldn't have the same book twice. So if you come to the convention one year and you try to go back to next year with the same book, like a lot of these conventions around here, no, it has to be this, and it has to be approved. Like it has to send out proof of all this stuff about the book, like from editing to the manufacturing, like all this crazy stuff, versus comics, man. I just or comic conventions. Not comics, but comic conventions. I was able to just show up with a book and be like, but it is different marketing because most people there are for comics. But anyways, yeah. So a lot of things have changed. I kind of set that one to the side. I mean, that was young wee little Shane. Take it. I just caught this book and be amazing, right? And again, I know Joe Ball since like high school, so he's helped me with a lot of these projects, which is where I'm going with the next thing I was doing right before actually I started the whole comics thing and Comics Gate and introduced and all that. I been putting out kids chapter books, which was my main goal. Getting into writing. And these are actually Joe Ball covers. But yeah, I wrote these like Goosebumps chapter books, and I have 2 of them out. Let's say Joe did cover for both of them, and I was having fun with that. Starting to hit up the conventions, and threw them up on Amazon, which I still have on Amazon. I say this before I knew anything about Comicsgate or the indie comic movement. And Joe approached me. He's like, "Hey, why don't you bring those to Comicsgate?" I'm like, "Okay, what the hell's Comicsgate?" I don't know. What Comicsgate is. So I got looking into it, and Joe's like, "Yeah, man, come on, all right." But I didn't really want to jump in with those since I know you got the community is more comics, and I actually had a whole different project outside of Mothman when I came to Comicsgate. But I had script, everything, had an artist. He after like 2 months or so he dipped out on me because me being Comicsgate. Again, I was new to Comicsgate. I didn't really even know as the dark cloud over the Comicsgate name per se. I was warned a little bit, but I mean, it's crazy how far outstretched it goes. It really is. Like, I mean, I don't really do a lot of. I'm not really political per se. Like, I don't jump on political posts, and I just try to keep everything exciting and fresh for me, like with comics and horror. I mean, that's the whole point of this. It's like a movie and anything else that excites you. I don't care if it's baseball, whatever your hobbies are. It's that's what it's about. It's about fun and entertainment. So that's where I keep it. That's the pocket that I want to set in. So if you get political on me and stuff like that, I'll listen to you. But I'm just gonna be like, yeah, okay, But I like making monster stuff. But anyways, yeah. So the first project coming into Comicsgate got squashed on me, and for the good though, in a sense, because it gave me more time to think things through. And then that's when the King Toad came into to light, and now part of the King Toad Comics thing, and went with Mothman. I'm like, yeah. So I still got I still want to bring the Twisted Tales stuff into the Comics Gate universe, or whatever. But I don't know. I'm thinking about actually making those actual comics, But I have been. I mean, like I said, I watch people's campaigns. I see what people's doing. And I haven't seen much in the Comicsgate community as far as the kids side of books doing like super well. There's actually one I backed not too long ago that got refunded because he didn't make his goal, and it worries me. I'm like, is there a market per se in this community for that, or is anybody buying comics for their kids? Or they just buy it for them? So I went with the safe bet. I'm like, you know what? I'll go with Mothman. Convince the guys to jump aboard and agree. So, I don't know if that's a good enough introduction of Mothman and myself. But that's what I got. I spent a lot of time collecting nerd stuff and writing nerd stuff. Check this out. Oh, look at that. I even got a little Mothman. I got Mothman Funko. So I am your Mothman guy. No worries there. I am out to make Mothman cool. Again, so hopefully my nerdum has not thrown you away from backing or even checking out the book, but it does launch tomorrow. I'm super pumped. Hopefully I get your support, and hope that you will like everything that King Toad Comics has moving forward as well. So I'm really hoping I could just jump right into book 2. Like I said, this one is a 28-page comic. I didn't want to go too crazy on my first campaign. I want to make sure it was something I know I could get done. I didn't want to overstep what I could. I didn't want to look too far into the stars with the campaign. I know a lot of people's like, you should have this many pages, you should have this. And I'm like, yes, but it's my first campaign, and I want to make sure I deliver. So if this first book does well, the second one of the Cryptic Legends will be more on the 48 plus page comic. I just want to test the waters with to see how cryptic creatures do. Make sure there's room for that in the comic side, because I advertise to the horror community as much as I am the comic side, to see where things sit. But yeah, all right. Again, thank you, and until next time, enjoy this little Mothman teaser trailer at the end. Have a good one.